You've been shaping reality your entire life, whether you knew it or not. Every thought, every breath, every emotion you release into the world isn't contained inside of you. It's radiating outward, vibrating into the field around you. Most people are already influencing energy, but they do it blindly, like sending out scrambled radio signals. They don't realize they're broadcasting confusion, fear, or longing. So the results they get back look chaotic and inconsistent. Life feels like random luck instead of a precise reflection of their inner frequency. But the moment you wake up to the truth that the so-called external world is nothing more than a mirror, faithfully reflecting the vibration you're constantly transmitting, everything begins to change. What once looked like coincidence now reveals itself as feedback. What once felt like chance suddenly shows its design. And here, some missing piece almost nobody talks about. You are not standing outside the energy you want to influence. You're immersed in it. You are woven into the same quantum fabric you've been trying to bend. And that fabric responds not to the words you speak or the effort you force, but to the state you consistently embody. Think back to the last strange coincidence in your life, the chance encounter that came at the perfect time. The gut feeling that proved right, the opportunity that appeared out of nowhere. Those weren't accidents. Those were quantum events, ripples in the invisible field, bending toward the frequency you were unconsciously radiating. And while your conscious mind likes to claim credit, it isn't the one doing the heavy lifting. It's your subconscious, the keeper of your core beliefs, your emotional defaults, your hidden expectations. That's why affirmations without true feeling collapse. That's why visualizations layered with doubt dissolve. The subconscious is the back door to the field, and until you unlock it, everything else is surface level decoration. So here's the truth. The field is already listening to you all the time. Your thoughts are the broadcast, your emotions are the magnet, and your subconscious decides whether the transmission is clear or distorted. Together, they either cancel each other out in static or create coherence. So Clean the Field has no choice but to respond. The question has never been whether you manipulate energy. The real question is, are you doing it consciously or by default? Of course, because the evidence of your current signal is all around you. Look at your relationships, your opportunities, your finances, your health. None of it is random. All of it is the echo of the signal you've been sending until now. This isn't judgment, it's physics. And the moment you understand that, you stop blaming chance or fate. You stop believing you're powerless. You realize you've been influencing energy all along, but without a manual. And now, with awareness, you can amplify your signal, cut the static, and align your subconscious identity with your conscious intentions. That's when life stops feeling like effort and begins moving like a current carrying you forward. You're about to learn how to fuse your mind, heart, and body into a single clear broadcast, so scattered energy turns into a command the field cannot ignore. This is where the conversation shifts from theory to application. Before we step in, ask yourself honestly if you're ready to unlock the next level. Up until now, you've been transmitting signals without a manual, often unaware of which part of you was actually steering the broadcast. Not all signals carry the same power. The ability to influence energy and spark quantum events doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from aligning the systems within you, so your message to reality is unmistakable. This is coherence. Most people move through the day inside energetic noise. The mind declares one story, the heart feels another, and the body runs an entirely different program. That inner conflict creates interference, a tangle of frequencies that cancel each other out. When the field receives mixed messages, it can't respond cleanly. It's like trying to tune the station while blasting static through the speakers. You might be close to the right frequency, but the noise drowns the music. Coherent changes everything. When brain rhythms, heart patterns, and your nervous system synchronize, you become a tuning fork for the life you want to experience. Thought stops arguing with feeling. Desire stops wrestling with belief. Your body stops behaving like the opponent of your mind. In that state, your transmission is no longer a faint suggestion. It's a directive. Studies show the heart generates an electromagnetic field far stronger than the brain, and it doesn't stay locked inside your chest. It radiates outward, interacting with people, places, and unfolding events. When coherent heart energy pairs with focused intention from a clear mind, the result is a stable broadcast that engages the quantum field in a highly organized way. Here's the part most people miss. You don't have to be flawless to do this. You don't need to police every thought or bury difficult emotions. Coherence isn't perfection. It's dominance. It's establishing a steady baseline of alignment. So an occasional surge of chaos dosa, knock you off course. How do you build it? Again, with attention. Notice when the body tightens, when the mind races, when the breath goes shallow. Okay? Bring awareness back to sensation. Slow the inhale and the exhale. Settle the heart rate. Enter the present moment. From there, choose a clear intention, not from grasping, but from trust. See the outcome you want. Feel the emotion of already living it. Let your body memorize that state until it becomes familiar. With practice, this stops feeling like effort. You move from chasing outcomes to drawing them in through stability. People often ask how long it takes to see change. A better question is, how long you're willing to practice coherence, until it becomes who you are rather than something you occasionally do. When alignment becomes your default setting, the field has to reorganize around it. This message is landing for you and you feel that inner click that says, this is what it's been missing. Subscribe as a commitment to remain in resonance with this work. And if you want to deepen the conversation, share in the comments one area of your life that feels least coherent right now. It isn't a confession, it's a doorway. Naming it loosens its grip. Okay. You now grasp the distinction between scattered energy and aligned energy. The next layer is where it gets truly interesting, because coherence by itself is only the entry point. It's a deeper mechanism at play, a dynamic exchange between you and the field that determines whether intentions condense into events. You're about to see the hidden architecture of quantum creation, the mechanics of probability, expectation, and wave collapse. Small internal shifts ripple outward to reorganize the fabric of your world. This is why some people experience leaps in meaningful coincidences with ease, while others remain stuck despite their effort. Coherence is your access code, but alignment alone doesn't complete the equation. To influence the field deliberately, you must understand the dance of probability. It's the invisible game happening underneath every moment. The universe does not deliver outcomes simply because you want them. It reflects what you are tuned to expect. In quantum terms, reality exists as overlapping possibilities until something selects and stabilizes one path. At the smallest scales, existence is a soup of probabilities waiting to crystallize into form. What tips the balance? The observer. Not a passive watcher on the sidelines, but an engaged presence whose focus, expectation, and belief stitch potential into actuality. This is where many people get stuck. They practice their visualizations. They set intentions. They repeat affirmations. They do the vision boards and the meditations, but underneath it all runs an invisible script of doubt, fear, and limitation. They open their banking app and expect lack. They glance at their relationships and brace for rejection. They look in the mirror and anticipate failure. The field complies, not as punishment, but as a precise response to the dominant signal. Your conscious mind can declare, I am abundant. Yet, if your subconscious is still broadcasting, there's never enough, the field follows the deeper broadcast. That's why so many people feel stuck while doing all the right things, trying to plaster new rituals over old expectations without addressing the core program that shapes their reality. Here is where the real magic starts. When you align not only your thoughts, but also your beliefs and assumptions, the probability landscape begins to tilt. Small, deliberate shifts in how you stand, how you breathe, how you think and feel become levers that nudge reality toward your preference. You don't need to rebuild your life overnight. You only need enough momentum for the wave function to lean your way. Picture a hallway lined with doors, each one a possible version of the next moment. You don't fling them all open. You reach for the one you expect. Expectation chooses the handle. Expectation sculpted by your dominant state, your subconscious story, your felt sense of what is available to you. This is why inner shifts often trigger rapid outer changes, alter the baseline expectation, and the world reorganizes to match. But there's a catch. Expectation cannot be faked. You can repeat "I am wealthy" while your body tightens at the thought of bills and expect the field to applaud. The field doesn't read words, it reads vibration. The work then is softening the grip of limiting assumptions, loosening the knots of resistance, and gradually training your mind, heart, and body to hold a new baseline of possibility. In practice, that looks like noticing the moment you shrink and breathing through it instead of collapsing. It looks like catching yourself forecasting the worst and, even for a heartbeat, rehearsing the best. It looks like teaching your nervous system what success feels like, not just your intellect. Over time, something unmistakable shifts. The probability field reorganizes. Events line up. Synchronicities stack. Doors you didn't know were there swing open. Not because you wrestled the universe into compliance, but because you became a clear enough signal for the version of reality you chose. Pause and check in. Can you sense where old expectations have been steering your life without permission? It's good. That awareness is the doorway. Now we reach the paradox. At the center of all of this, the reason many people accidentally sabotage their own creation process. The key is not control. The key is surrender. Stay with me, because letting go gives you more influence over the field than force ever could. Here's where most people flip the formula. We're taught to hustle, push, and grind our way to outcomes. That approach can move matter in the material world, but it creates friction with the quantum. The field does not respond to force. It responds to alignment. And alignment often feels like surrender. Surrender is not resignation. It isn't apathy or giving up on what you want. Surrender is the release of tension around how and when. It is the willingness to hold a clear intention while relaxing the grip that demands timing and format. It is trusting the intelligence that organizes events better than your conscious mind can. When you loosen the compulsion to prove, chase, and overmanage, your signal stops shaking. The noise drops. Your nervous system settles. Coherence rises. From that steadiness, the field reads a clean command instead of a frantic plea. And that is when the improbable starts arriving on schedule. True surrender is the moment you release the urge to micromanage how and when your desires take shape. It is trusting the intelligence of the field to arrange the details while you maintain the feeling tone of your outcome. Think of planting a seed. You don't dig it up each morning to check progress. You enrich the soil, you water with care, and you allow the unseen work to unfold. The paradox is that the less you interfere with anxious grasping, the faster growth appears. When you surrender, you stop sending mixed messages. You stop saying you trust while secretly clinging to the result. You stop performing, let go, while your energy tightens around the timeline. In genuine release, the subconscious gateway to the field swings open, and your transmission becomes clean. This is the art of surrendered influence. Your subconscious cannot be bullied into alignment, and coherence cannot be forced, yet both can be invited. You invite them by creating conditions where your nervous system can relax, your breath can deepen, your heart can soften, and your energy can settle out of desperation into steadiness. Something remarkable happens there. Q. Shift from seeker to signal. You stop chasing and begin drawing. Q. Move from trying to manifest into embodying the quality you desire, and the field answers, not as a prize, but as a mirror. At the core of quantum creation lives a simple trust. If I align, life aligns. If I embody, reality reshapes. If I become, the world reflects. The challenge is that surrender feels unfamiliar to a mind trained to control outcomes. The mind wants schedules, guarantees, and proof. Yet, the more you demand certainty, the more resistance you generate. Grip tightens the signal. The field tightens in response. The work becomes elegantly paradoxical. Set the intention, stabilize the vibration, then release the timeline. Stop micromanaging the steps. Refuse to shrink when reality tests your steadiness. That posture gives you more influence than any attempt to control ever could. How do you know whether you've surrendered or quit? Surrender feels open and light in the body. Resignation feels heavy and collapsed. Surrender leaves you receptive to possibility. Resignation closes the door on wonder. So ask yourself now, where are you still forcing outcomes? Where are you gripping so tightly that energy cannot move? What would it feel like, as a simple experiment, to soften your hold and trust the process that is already in motion? The universe favors coherence. The field wants to align. Life leans toward expansion and creation. When you step aside from frantic managing, you are not abandoning your power. You are entering a deeper current of it. Now bring all of this together. You have explored the subconscious connection, practiced coherence, understood probability and wave collapse, and met the paradox of surrender. None of it matters unless it is lived. This is the threshold where you stop visiting a practice and begin inhabiting a state. To live as the signal is to carry alignment into ordinary moments, to walk through your day as the broadcast itself. You are not here to control energy. You are here to become it. Energy meets energy. The field answers signal. Quantum events do not arrive through pursuit. They arrive through match. When you move through the world as the signal, embodied, coherent, surrendered, the field does not hesitate. Circumstances reorganize. Timelines shift. Allies appear. Pathways open. Not because you forced or earned, but because you stopped pretending you were separate from the current that has always moved through you. That is what it means to live as the quantum event, not as a theory or a daily exercise, but as your baseline. A way of being that quietly declares, I know who I am, and I know what I align with. When you live as the signal, you stop asking for proof before you believe, because belief itself becomes the proof. Identity is the engine, and vibration is the invitation. You don't create from lack, you don't visualize from fear, and you don't manifest from hesitation. You radiate, and what you radiate becomes inevitable. Let's anchor this idea. Embodying the signal doesn't mean you never wobble or that doubt, frustration, and sadness vanish from your life. It means they no longer run the show. They pass through like weather, but they don't root in your field. You remember who you are beneath the storm, and that's what the field responds to with precision. Think of yourself as a lighthouse. It doesn't chase ships through the ocean. It stands rooted, pulsing its beam across the night. To your task, not to control the waves, but to remain the steady light in the middle of them. And when you live this way, the entire atmosphere around you begins to shift. People feel it without knowing why. They sense safety near you. They feel inspired. They feel activated. God's opportunities start appearing without effort. Synchronicities turn into daily occurrences. Words, ideas, and connections arrive with uncanny timing. You begin to notice that life is not resisting or withholding from you, but listening and responding to the signal you carry. Then you remember what was always true. Your subconscious is not a vault of old wounds. It's a transmitter of vibration. Coherence is not an abstract ideal, it's the switch that turns reality on. Letting go is not giving up, it's stepping out of the way so the field can align what it already knows how to arrange. In your presence, your very being is already a broadcast. With that realization, you move differently. You breathe with a new rhythm. You speak as someone who isn't begging reality to change, but inviting it to align with what is already true. You stop striving to become something. Start remembering that you already are it. The field does not require your constant effort. It only needs your steady, unapologetic signal. If you take only one thing from this, let it be this. The version of you living your dream life isn't somewhere distant. Okay? It isn't waiting years in the future. It isn't hiding behind endless healing or achievement. It exists in the field now, already entangled with you, waiting for you to stop pretending you're separate. So the real choice is whether you tune into it fully and consistently until it becomes second nature. 'Cause when you do, the quantum responds. Comment below with one word that captures your next shift, flow, release, or whatever feels alive for you. That word becomes part of your broadcast. Okay? And if this spoke to you, subscribe. Let's keep expanding together. You're not here to chase transformation. You are here to embody it. And the moment you do, reality itself moves in rhythm with you.